Afghanistan, if you remain a Muslim, you will be killed. If you convert, you will be killed. So, either way, be ready to be killed.
Thank you, Mahbub, for very thought-provoking questions. Indeed. Is it working? So you have referred to the social dimension, which is the reaction from the public to the institution of blasphemy cases against any person in the society. Yes, and it's very serious. And as I have dilated upon this aspect in my article that has been circulated here, such cases are not easy to deal with. It's not easy for any judge at the trial level, or for that matter, even in the superior courts now, to grant bail even to in the most deserved cases. And actually, most of the cases, and this has been studied quite convincingly, that all these cases are fake. There is one issue or the other. There is some kind of a motive. It could be about property. It could be about. It is generally not just the religious emotion which motivates the petitioner, the complainant, to go to the police station and lodge an FIR against the accused. There are always, and this has been done, brought on record very clearly by various journalists as well as some academics. And one of these studies, very comprehensive study, has been referred in this study which has been circulated here. I believe that you have all got one copy at least of this study, which has been done by Pilar, Pakistan. Karamat Sahab, मेरा ख्याल ये कॉपी तो देनी चाहिए सबको. So the study.
Some photocopies, so bring them tomorrow, but we should get more
today by the afternoon.
Yeah. So that study has been done by an academician, Dr. Osama Siddiq, and I think it's mentioned somewhere. Yeah, on page 48, it's mentioned. And if you Google Osama Siddiq blasphemy, then you can find the soft version on the internet. It clearly, and it's a very comprehensive study of the law, how vague it is, how the vagueness and ambiguity in the law is leading to injustice against those who are accused. And it's not just the non-Muslims, the Muslims as well. But where it comes to non-Muslims, the situation, the cases, the courtrooms get really hot, and it's not easy to defend non-Muslims in Pakistan. That is the social dimension, and judges at the trial level are least likely to resist outside pressure. So that is a problem. So any law which creates this kind of reaction, I think, is problematic inherently. We can discuss it in detail, and I have referred to some of the dimensions of public reaction in my article.
Just one comment, can I have?
Let me finish it, and then you can.
Sure.
So I think we can criticize such laws because they were not there in existence before 1980s. So what was happening? Were any cases of blasphemy being lodged or brought up before the courts of law, the police stations? Very, very, very few. Maybe 6 cases in 100 years, and now you have thousands of cases. What happened suddenly that our holy personage and our holy book became sensitive all of a sudden, and because there was some kind of an international conspiracy, Indian conspiracy or Hindu conspiracy or Jewish conspiracy, that Muslims were being targeted by the weak minorities of Pakistan? That was not the case. So what was the need to introduce these sections? The other point that you raise is about what kind of judicial legal strategy can be adopted when there is this reluctance to grant relief to the accused. I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I have no answer, ready-made answer to that. Now the lawyers are not, most of the lawyers are not ready to take up these cases. That's the truth that we have to face. And unless the law is changed, unless the state takes the responsibility upon its shoulders and come up with a solution, and the only first solution can be removal of these laws. Okay, let's say not the removal, maybe very severe, very strict conditions for the lodging of such complaints. Unless that kind of a stand is taken by the state, I don't think lawyers are in a position to stand up. Most of the lawyers, let me tell you, are conservative, and they would not be bothered about minority rights in Pakistan. Then you also asked me whether there is a comparative study, what happens in the ordinary cases against, let's say, minorities. Yes, in ordinary cases, for example, in a murder case, there is a certain kind of pressure against, the accused if he or she happens to be someone belonging to a minority religion. But, of course, as you can see, and it is very obvious, and it has been brought on record in various reports and studies, that you cannot motivate people emotionally, you cannot charge people emotionally in ordinary cases. So if you can come up with the plea, look, this Christian or this Ahmadi has done this kind of a thing which is a defamatory against the Holy Prophet or the religion Islam or the Quran, then you can easily motivate people. Then there is a rallying point. People come out and they can even burn Christian colonies. And this has happened. Only this year in March, a whole Christian colony in the city of Lahore, the capital of the province of Punjab, the biggest province of Punjab in Pakistan, was burnt down. I went there, I saw the locality after it had been burned down, and you cannot imagine the plight the people had to suffer, the Christians of that locality. Though this time alone, and only this time, the government took appropriate action after the colony had been burned down. But there was time enough for the state to react. 6 hours before the incident happened, 12 hours before the incident happened. There is no mechanism in place to protect the minorities in Pakistan. Then in Gujarat in 2009, almost half the city was burned out. And I've seen the inquiry report conducted by a sitting High Court judge. It's a shit. There's nothing. So I think it's very clear to us that there was no threat to religion Islam before these laws were introduced. There was no need, and we don't need them anymore on the statute. So far as Islamic injunctions the question is concerned, I speak from my own experience. I have been teaching criminal law. I have looked into these matters, and one of the sitting Supreme Court judges has written way back in early 1990s that there is no consensus, and he refers to various traditions regarding Islamic injunctions and various authorities. And if you go through whole plethora of judgments passed by the high courts and the lower courts, there is actually no consensus that I can come up with. For example, judges would refer back to the collection of Islamic laws made by Emperor Aurangzeb. Other judges would go to other traditions. Yet another set of judges would refer to another set of traditions. So where exactly should we look for the Islamic injunctions? You have your own interpretation of the Holy Book. I may have a different interpretation. So how do we agree upon the same interpretation? I think it's an impossible task.
Okay, just
This is my view.